So spake the Son of God. But Satan, now quite at a loss, for all his darts were spent, thus to our Saviour with stern brow replied: Since neither wealth nor honour, arms nor arts, kingdom nor empire, pleases thee, nor aught by me proposed in life contemplative or active, tended on by glory or fame, what dost thou in this world? The wilderness for thee is fittest place. I found thee there, and thither will return thee. Yet remember what I foretell thee. Soon thou shalt have cause to wish thou never hadst rejected, thus nicely or cautiously, my offered aid, which would have set thee in short time with ease on David's throne, or throne of all the world. Now at full age, fullness of time, thy season, when prophecies of thee are best fulfilled. Now, contrary, if I read aught in heaven, or heaven write aught of fate, by what the stars voluminous, or single characters in their conjunction met, give me to spell, sorrows and labours, opposition, hate attends thee, scorns, reproaches, injuries, violence and stripes, and lastly, cruel death. A kingdom they portend thee, but what kingdom real or allegoric I discern not, nor when, eternal sure, as without end, without beginning, for no date prefixed directs me in the starry rubrics set. So saying, he took, for still he knew his power not yet expired, into the wilderness brought back the Son of God, and left him there, feigning to disappear. Darkness now rose as daylight sunk, and brought in lowering night, her shadowy offspring, unsubstantial both, privation mere of light and absent day. Our Saviour meek, and with untroubled mind, after his airy jaunt, though hurried sore, hungry and cold, betook him to his rest, wherever, under some concourse of shades, whose branching arms thick intertwined might shield from dews and damps of night his sheltered head. But sheltered, slept in vain, for at his head the tempter watched, and soon with ugly dreams disturbed his sleep. Neither tropic now 'gan thunder, in both ends of heaven, the clouds from many a horrid rift abortive poured, fierce rain with lightning mixed, water with fire, in ruin reconciled. Nor slept the winds within their stony caves, but rushed abroad from the four hinges of the world, and fell on the vexed wilderness, whose tallest pines, though rooted deep as high, and sturdiest oaks, bowed their stiff necks, loaden with stormy blasts, or torn up sheer. Ill wast thou shrouded then, O patient Son of God, yet only stoodst unshaken, nor yet stayed the terror there. Infernal ghosts and hellish furies round environed thee. Some howled, some yelled, some shrieked, some bent at thee their fiery darts, while thou satst unappalled in calm and sinless peace. Thus passed the night so foul, till morning fair came forth with pilgrim steps, in amice grey, who with her radiant fingers stilled the roar of thunder, chased the clouds, and laid the winds, and grisly spectres, which the fiend had raised to tempt the Son of God with terrors dire. And now the sun with more effectual beams had cheered the face of earth, and dried the wet from drooping plant or dropping tree. The birds, who all things now behold more fresh and green, after a night of storms so ruinous, cleared up their choicest notes in bush and spray, to gratulate the sweet return of morn. Nor yet amidst this joy and brightest morn was absent, after all his mischief done, the Prince of Darkness, Glad would also seem of this fair change, and to our Saviour came. Yet with no new device they all were spent, rather by this his last affront resolved, desperate of better course, to vent his rage in mad despite to be so oft repelled. Him walking on a sunny hill he found, backed on the north and west by a thick wood. Out of the wood he starts in wonted shape, and in a careless mood thus to him said, Fair morning yet betides thee, Son of God, after a dismal night. I heard the rack, as earth and sky would mingle, but myself was distant, and these flaws, though mortals fear them, as dangerous to the pillared frame of heaven, or to the earth's dark basis underneath, are to the main as inconsiderable and harmless, if not wholesome, as a sneeze to man's less universe, and soon are gone. Yet as being oft times noxious where they light on man, beast, plant, wasteful and turbulent, like turbulent seas in the affairs of men, over whose heads they roar and seem to point, they oft foresignify and threaten ill. This tempest at this desert most was bent, of men at thee, for only thou here dwell'st. Did I not tell thee, if thou didst reject the perfect season offered with my aid to win thy destined seat, but wilt prolong all to the push of fate, pursue thy way of gaining David's throne no man knows when, for both the when and how is nowhere told. Thou shalt be what thou art ordained, no doubt. For angels have proclaimed it, but concealing the time and means. Each act is rightliest done, not when it must, but when it may be best. If thou observe not this, be sure to find what I foretold thee, many a hard assay of dangers, and adversities, and pains, ere thou of Israel's sceptre get fast hold, whereof this ominous night that closed thee round so many terrors, voices, prodigies, may warn thee, as a sure foregoing sign. So talked he, while the Son of God went on, and stayed not, but in brief him answered thus, Me worse than wet thou findest not, other harm those terrors which thou speakest of did me none. I never feared they could, though noising loud and threatening nigh. What they can do as signs betokening or ill boding I contemn as false portents, not sent from God, but thee, who, knowing I shall reign past thy preventing, obtrudest thy offered aid, that I, accepting at least, might seem to hold all power of thee, ambitious spirit, and wouldst be thought my God, and stormest, refused, thinking to terrify me to thy will, desist, thou art discerned, and toilest in vain, nor me in vain molest.